reality? What's the reality?
Hello, y'all. It's your girl, AD, and welcome to another episode of What's the Reality? You guys, I am joined by some very, very special guests. Today, we have world-renowned medium Tyler Henry and television personality, actress, dancer, fitness entrepreneur, Amanda. Hey, guys.
Hi.
And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are we doing?
Doing
We're great.
amazing. It's rare that we get to buddy up outside of Netflix Live, so we're excited to be here.
Is it that rare because you guys are twinning? It looks like you do this.
Yes.
I know. We look like brother and sister, and we're wearing the same outfit.
We really do. Almost down to the same shade. It's kind of creepy.
No, it looks good, though. I wish I would have got a text, but
I know.
I
We're
got
sorry.
close. I got kind of close.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in the same
Yeah, we're in the same family. Yeah.
Warm tones.
Yeah. I'm so happy you guys are here.
Thank you. Congratulations on the
yeah.
pod.
Thank you. And congratulations on your show, Live from the Other Side, currently on Netflix. Yes. And Amanda, you're the moderator.
Yes.
Okay, how's this experience been for you guys? Like, I can imagine there's a lot of nerves and pressure that come along with doing something like this. Like, tell me about it.
Well, doing the show had never been done before in a live format. So a medium doing readings unedited, with no real ability to cut things out that are perhaps incorrect. So it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And allowed me, I think, to demonstrate the process. And I wasn't afraid of that challenge. I wanted to, in fact, meet that and demonstrate the process. Because it's one thing to see readings like edited together in a highlight reel, but to really demonstrate how it comes to me and then how that relates to how other people might relate to their own loved ones. It's really special. And now we've done it for over about 20 episodes.
Yeah.
20 episodes?
20
Yes, it was
episodes.
originally
I'm trying to
8
get like
episodes.
y'all.
I know.
Yes.
Well, and it's been really great to see Tyler grow. Like, I mean, I feel like from episode 1 to episode, like our last episode we did last Wednesday, like you walk out of there, you're so confident now.
Oh,
like,
geez.
well, doing a live reading in this setting was a first for you, and I had monitored a show like this before, so it was just, I feel like you really like found your groove, and like it's like old hat.
Yeah.
We go in there and we're like, let's do some readings.
We got it down. And when the show started, I heard Amanda Kloots might be one of the moderators. So it was like, I have to have her. She's perfect. The show was at such a timely, premiere in the sense that they came out, I believe, on Nick's birthday.
Yeah.
And then it's finishing up on Amanda
My
Kloots'
birthday.
So there was something kind of uncanny kismet about that I
Yeah.
thought really spoke to how she was meant to be a part of it.
That's amazing. So how's it been working together?
Oh, incredible.
Great.
Yeah. We're only together for about 42 minutes when we sit. And it's a lot of me just kind of rambling like Oda Mae Brown and people responding. But Amanda asks such good thought-provoking questions and gives clarity often that's necessary in these readings because I often know what I'm seeing and the client often knows what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But the audience often doesn't. And so Amanda does a great job at filling in those blanks.
Well, I feel very lucky to witness like what Tyler does on a weekly basis because I truly believe in the healing power of what he does and the messages he brings. And so it's really cool to like sit there each week and see people, just have these,
I don't know. My heart's like
life
racing
moments.
just right now.
Yeah,
just
no, it's
thinking
really
about
precious.
it.
It's like you see weight being lifted off their shoulders, and
That's powerful.
or they laugh for the first time about something, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah, there are so few outlets in society for people to openly discuss grief.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of this platform because it's allowed people to honor their feelings. Some people that are public figures that we recognize on TV and others, everyday folks. And it just speaks to the fact that it's a universal experience and the way that we all kind of honor that process. It's sharing an experience that honors not just loss, but love. And that's really what it's all about.
So you've been able to kind of connect with spirits at a very young age. Right. Tell me what that was like. Did it scare you?
Well, I had my first premonition when I was 10 years old. I saw that my grandmother
is insane.
was going to pass. Yeah, at 10 years old, you're still trying to figure out like addition, subtraction, multiplication.
Right from left.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got some news.
And it was a big kind of a burden as a child. I didn't recognize it as an ability. It was just something that happened randomly. And then, these moments of knowingness continued as I would go about my day-to-day life. But it was something that didn't come with a manual. You can't go to college to become what this is. And so it was a lot of trial and error and just learning.
And your mom and your dad also being so supportive of you, which is,
My mom was the first
a cool
person I
thing.
told about that initial premonition of the death of my dad's mom. And then we kept it a secret from my dad for 6 years.
6 years.
And so when I was finally 16, I had to kind of come out of the broom closet and be like, talk to people who passed.
How did he take that?
Yeah, he didn't really even know what a medium was. To him, it was like a shirt size.
Yep.
And I was still like trying to figure out like what's going on. Like, is it people who passed? Is it just intuition? But it ended up being, a journey.
Tyler, you're so funny. He's like so funny, secretly funny.
Funny looking. Thank you.
No,
It's these
you're
dead
not.
ends. They're picking up on me.
I'm crying. So how did your journey from small town life to Hollywood medium go? Like, how was that?
Yeah. Well, long story short, I graduated high school at the age of 16 with the goal of trying to become a hospice nurse because I thought, as a medium, your options are kind of limited. You can do readings publicly. You can do like life insurance salesman might have been a good one. Hospice nurse was high up there. But that was my goal. And then as I was in school, one of the youngest in my class, I was doing readings through word of mouth. And people started literally coming to my front door and leaving notes. And I ended up reading the dean of the college, which was insane. And it all kind of went.
Didn't he tell you he was like, don't go to school.
He literally was like, you need to consider what you did for me, doing that for other people, because it really helped me. And he got a genuine experience out of it.
And what is this small town you're from?
Hanford, California.
Oh, okay.
So,
Central
California, outside of Fresno. It's kind of near Armona, Lemoore.
Okay.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
And that's not like a common thing, I'm assuming. Like mediums are not just popping up in
No,
your
I
little
wish.
town.
It would have been easier to explain what it is more than just that intermediary range between two things. But not a lot of representation as far as mediums or even alternative spiritualities, which I embrace all forms of belief. And despite growing up in a very conservative Christian upbringing, just evolved in trust and faith and, if anything, have a more reinforced sense of spirituality. So it's inclusive.
Which then led to you getting your own show on E! Hollywood.
That's right.
Tell me about that journey.
Hollywood Medium. That was 4 seasons, over 200 celebrity one-on-one readings.
Wow. 200?
Yes, I was like 19, so I didn't know who half the people were. Because
did you get any autographs?
You
should have had a T-shirt.
I should have gotten a T-shirt.
Like people
like sign my baby.
sign.
I should have got like a magic
the
8-ball
forehead,
and had them sign the magic 8-ball. It probably would be worth a lot
That'd be so
now.
cool.
Yeah, but I often saved their scribbles after the readings.
Yeah,
So I have them
there
as like
you
a
go.
little memento.
That's good.
love
Gosh,
that.
Tyler, I didn't realize over 200.
Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
a lot of people. Well, and being on the talk. I mean, how many interviews were there?
Well, almost 1,000.
Jeez.
Well,
My
that was over 5
goodness.
seasons, though.
That's
But yeah.
incredible.
That's insane.
That's amazing.
I know. Sometimes you don't realize. You know what I mean? That you don't realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
and so then you just realize it afterwards.
Time flies by.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, Tyler, do you ever do readings that involve love advice from the other side?
I think people often ask about love when it comes to readings. And naturally, when I talk about people who've passed, very often we touch on their lives and the lives of the people they leave behind. And by default, oftentimes, the exciting things, the engagements, the marriages, they often come through with acknowledgments of the divorces and the harder things. And it just speaks to life experience and the fact that they come through and still prioritize our well-being. So very many instances, I'll refer not only to the fact that a grandmother who isn't able to be here physically is, attending the wedding, and then I'll refer to a specific detail of something that was done for grandma at the wedding that one couldn't guess or know through other means. And that just reinforces that there's some connection, even if they're not physically here.
Does grandma ever come through with tea?
Tea is spilling over. Yeah,
don't do that. He's not the one.
Or given the choice between two people, you know this one more than that one.
Do you ever
or-
say something?
There's times.
He does.
The thing is I think that my goal is to always leave people better than I find them. But I find that when people ask for love advice, they often already know.
You
the
already
answer.
know,
You
yeah.
already know. You're just looking for validation.
He oftentimes on the show gets messages from the grandma about the husband or the wife or the older ex-boyfriend. Often, it's honestly one of my favorite moments.
It's fun, and when you come up with a detail that couldn't be guessed, couldn't be Googled, and it's something they just did or just discussed in the car, they're like, wait a minute.
I think it was last episode where you were like, yeah. They didn't like your last the first person, but they really approve of this one.
Oh, good.
She was like, oh, geez, I think I had that hunch, but now we know.
She did. She was married and got divorced. This was Megan Mullally.
Yeah.
Mullally, sorry. And now Nick Offerman is her husband, and Nick was approved.
Oh, good.
Happily ever
The
after.
ex was not approved.
No.
Oh, my.
Got the approval stamp from upper management.
Yeah.
Those are
This
my
one is a
favorite
go.
moments on the show. I
Yes.
love that.
Wait, that would be insane.
It was very, very cute.
And that's happened more than once.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It goes to show they see the peaks and the valleys of our lives. I think one of the most compelling things about what comes through is often the emphasis on levity and humor. And in some ways, not taking things so seriously.
Right.
And though they seem to not be very clear on, the grand scheme, like purpose or theology or the bigger questions, they seem to kind of give hints that perhaps the reason we're here is to love and to focus on the levity, the moments that give us relief from the darkness of existence.
I love love.
Yeah, love love.
I love love so much.
Love, absolutely.
Here on What's the Reality, we talk a lot about self-love. And I'm wondering, how would you give advice for people using their intuition when it comes to love and finding love?
Sure. Well, intuition is something of an inner tuition. I think it's kind of an inner knowledge, a compass that never truly leads us astray. And when it comes to love life, I mean, so much about that is about compatibility, finding someone that is going to grow with you. And that you're going to grow together with. And I think intuition does allow very often to kind of get a sense of, if somebody is in alignment with the long-term goals or not. And being able to refine that's a very valuable tool. I knew the second I met my current partner that he and I were going to be together, that I was destined to marry him. And we've been together now for almost a decade. And I've never had a single doubt. Every day has further reinforced that. And I can really only credit intuition to that fact. When you know, but you have to know yourself in order to know what's going to enhance your life.
Wait, so how did you two meet?
Online. It was not a very romantic story. We're in Verona, Italy, and I was throwing pebbles at his window on Twitter.
No, it is a romantic
story.
His mom reached out.
Let's romanticize it.
Yes, I was like 19, and his mom had watched my show, and she had reached out, and then he tweeted me, and he was just from the middle of nowhere in Georgia, just a good old Southern boy. And I reached out back to him, and we just had an immediate connection, and then he moved to California. Aww. We moved in like within 24 to 48 business hours. Like it was pretty.
That's
moving
so
fast.
We were like, bam! I mean, we were at the light speed of a lesbian. Like we were. Our relationship. I was like, you're moving in. We're getting married. We're having a German Shepherd farm. Like it was like bam, bam, bam.
I think that's so romantic. When you told me that story, I think that's so, like, you found each other online, and then the second he came to visit you, like you were talking, and then he came to visit you, and you were like, you're not leaving. But he was like, I'm not leaving.
He tried to get out, the doors were locked.
And the doors were locked, and the shades were down, and you were like, you're
mine.
You're not leaving.
Exactly. Right.
I see it.
I kind of have a similar story. Just kidding. My man is in the basement somewhere.
That's all right.
Locked away.
But you got the ring, girl. You got the ring.
And you know what he's doing.
I know where he's at.
Exactly.
I know what's
On
happening. Yeah. Wait, so what's it like dating with your abilities?
Dating, I mean, for me, it was an easy case of being able to kind of determine like what I resonated with, what I didn't. And there were a lot of people who I'd met before that I just didn't vibe with. So. Yeah. And I think really just everybody has intuition. The more you know yourself, the more you can identify what's right for you.
Yes,
so self-awareness is important. What's your advice for that? Do you feel intuition is part of your journey?
I love intuition. I've always been like somebody that I feel intuition strongly. I'm a Pisces. I just feel like it comes with my sign. Yes. I don't know. Sometimes I really love my intuition with love, because I think it really draws, like I can have like a very clear, direct kind of like, no, this is what it is. And then sometimes I feel like gets me stuck, because I'm like, no, I feel this. And like, why aren't you reacting the same way I want you to? Because like my intuition is saying we aren't supposed to be together. And I'm like, how are you not seeing what I see?
I know, when you feel it so strong.
Yes. Yeah. And that is very hard when they are not responding the way your intuition is telling you to.
And like inner narrative versus intuition, and being able to navigate both of those is tricky, because the more we know our inner narratives, the more we can discern it between what we want versus what we need.
Yeah.
And then when to let that intuition go. That's something that's, I think, really, really hard, because you're like, I'm gonna let this go. Yeah. I gave it a shot, I'm gonna let it go. It's tough, but I think you're right. I think you have to know yourself as much as we know ourselves and can turn inward and really like find that self-love within ourselves. You know, that's our best weapon.
Yeah. I trust my inner voice. I didn't always. And I always like, she's so loud too. Like, she's really aggressive. She's like, girl, you already know. And I used to be like, but do I?
Yeah.
And it would be those moments where I doubted myself and my intuition, where I was wrong. Right. And like I fell off the plank when I knew better, you know? Yeah. But now, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, you're right. Yep. You're right. Something's either off or something's really, really right. Yeah. And so I've learned to trust that. I think that's such a powerful tool that a lot of us don't tap into. That's really cool.
It certainly can be. There's a book by Gavin DeBecker. He's a security analyst. He wrote a book called The Gift of Fear. And it was all about how intuition can save our life.
Yeah.
How sometimes, a first time meeting, an introduction, a sense of unease or uncanniness. Sometimes we are behooved to listen to those things, even if they don't make logical sense in the moment. And there's a way to still be intuitive, but be kind. There's a way to set up boundaries with people in a nice way. And, going with our intuition doesn't mean we have to be like, no, I don't like you the second I meet you. But,
there's an
yourself,
alarm that you kind of have to.
Yeah. Like, do you think that, like, what's meant to be will never pass you? Like, if it's meant to be, that,
I
like,
go back
those
and
sayings
forth between
you
like predetermination, meaning that everything's like set up in advance, versus free will. And I go back and forth. There's a philosophical argument called compatibilism, which actually integrates both. That some things could be free will and some things might be pre-established.
So what do we think about soulmates then?
That's a tricky one because, like, I don't know about that one fully. I think there's a lot of people we could be compatible with on some level. I think the soulmate thing kind of goes back to the twin flame thing, which is kind of like controversial. And like, are we really made for one person? I don't know. I think there's a lot of people we could be compatible with. But it's like alchemy. When two people meet and they're changed forever, it's like a reaction and both leave unlike how they first were when they met. And so
I think I believe in soulmates, but I think we don't just have one. I think there's many, maybe like 10.
they're out there across the country and
that
world.
That really
immediately.
Yes. And there's like always a connection, and whether or not, like you just said, whether or not it ends up being somebody forever.
And it's not always romantic, right?
No.
it can be platonic. Like,
it could be,
like your
friend,
soul sisters.
A good indicator of like a soulmate-like person, I found people will often say, oh, they felt so familiar. I felt like I'd met them before. You meet some people, you just immediately like settle into their bones. You're just like, oh, I like you. This is easy. This feels natural.
You immediately
familiar.
feel comfortable. That's the best.
And safe. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Relationships should provide safety.
Agreed.
A sense of inner safety, stability, a soft place to fall. And you can get a sense if someone makes you feel safe or not, if you're honest with yourself.
Agreed. So you give yourself emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, like almost all day, every day. How do you balance all of this?
A lot of sleep. I take a lot of naps, which is very boring of an answer.
That's okay.
But truly, like the only interesting
I'm actually jealous. I could use a nap right now.
You take some Z-Quil and we're gonna regroup, honey. We're gonna do it.
Naps are great.
I love a nap.
It's for anyone, whether we're doing interviews, whether we're doing readings, there's an exchange. And you just have to kind of honor your inner boundaries and get rest as needed if you can.
It's true. Do you know that I was told by somebody once that if you, an energy therapist, he was like, because I say this all the time, I can put an alarm for 5 minutes and pass out, wake up in 5 minutes and I'm completely like recharged.
Oh, gosh.
I'm a napper. I love napping. Dang. 20 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever I can get.
Oh,
and he said that just shows that you're very in tune with your internal clock.
Okay.
That if you're good with napping.
Oh God, what happens when you wake up 45 minutes in with like slobber?
And you need another 45.
Like one eye is like hardened, crusty clothes. I'm like, I don't want to go to work. I wake up all grumpy and sad. You ever do that after a nap? You wake up, you're like,
what time
did someone
is it?
put me through a blender?
What day is it?
Yeah, what year? Disassociation.
Oh, really? I wake up from a nap and I'm like, all rejuvenated.
No, I've never woken up like that.
Good genes. Mine, the inner demons generationally start coming in after a nap. They're like,
I wake up from a nap and I'm like, I'm gonna go put on my pajamas and I'm getting in the bed.
Really?
Now it's time for sleep.
So
truly,
my day's over after a nap.
Oh, I
got nothing to give. Nothing. So Amanda, you've been incredibly open about love and grief and healing. For the listeners who don't know your story, can you talk a little bit about your late husband, Nick?
Sure. So I met Nick. I'm doing a Broadway show. And we were just friends at first and then became lovers and then got married. We were living in New York. We moved to Los Angeles and we had a new little baby, Elvis. Oh. And unfortunately, my husband got COVID and then spent 95 days in the ICU here at Cedars-Sinai and ended up passing away from complications from COVID and pneumonia and what it did to his lungs and his body. And so, that's that story.
Grief is something that like many people struggle with. What's one thing that you wish people could understand about navigating loss?
Yeah, I think even I fell into this trick in the beginning. I really felt like one day I'd be on the other side of it. That one day, and for some reason, I think the year is like a big marker for a lot of people. You'll be so much better in a year after the year first. The first Christmas, the first Thanksgiving, the first birthdays, and so you even mentally, subconsciously tell yourself that.
Give it time.
And this will be 5 years in July 5th. And I think the thing that it's important to know is that it does never end. And the healing journey is a journey because life keeps going once you lose your person. And so that pain grows as well because you're still living your life. And so grief follows you. And so I think as much as you can know that and know that the healing journey continues on and you grow with it, I think is an important message because it's nothing that you get a certificate from, you did it, you survived grief.
Right.
It will follow you your entire life.
Yeah. Is that something that you've kind of noticed with people that you speak with in their grieving journey?
When I first started, a lot of the emphasis was on closure, people coming to try to get closure. And as time went on, I learned that there is no closure to grief. To close grief would be to close the love. That it is an ongoing process, something that we carry with us.
Love.
And, moving forward isn't letting go. And it's a lifelong process, more akin to a comma in a sentence than a period, right? It's not something to be ended or finalized. It's something we carry with us and gives opportunities for us to love more deeply.
And Amanda, you've shared how important signs from Nick have been to you. What was the most powerful or unexpected sign that you've received?
Oh gosh, it's a short story, but I'll give you one. He comes to the radio a lot to me. Nick was a music man, and if you drive around town with me, if you were in my car, you would think I'm a crazy lady because I talk to him a lot in the car. One day I got in the car with Elvis, and it was his Christmas concert at his preschool, which is a hard day for a single mom because your child is singing these Christmas songs, and every family is there, and so to be there alone is tough. So I get in the car and Prince is playing on the radio, and Prince was Nick's all-time favorite artist. And Prince is on the radio a lot. It is not an uncommon artist that you would hear. But whenever I hear Prince, I always say hi to Nick. I'm like, oh, hi, Nick. I'm like, oh, good. You're here with us today. I said, because today's a big day. I said, all right, well, if you're really with us, I said, I want you, before the day ends, to play Going to California by Led Zeppelin. I say it out loud. I drive Elvis to school. I go to work. I pick Elvis up. We go to his concert. I survived the concert. We leave a little early because I just was like ready to get out of here. And I get in the car. I turn the car on, and on the radio is a Led Zeppelin song. Not Going to California though. And I'm driving along, and I was like, you know what? Okay. I was like, that's good enough. I was like, that's close enough. We keep driving. The song ends, and the DJ gets on and goes, you know what? Let's just play another one from Led Zeppelin. Here's Going to California. And I literally, tears start coming down my eyes. I couldn't see the road because I was crying so hard. I pull over, and I am like, a smiling, crying in disbelief at the same time. Because, first of all, this song is the oddest Led Zeppelin song in the entire world. It is a weird monologue song. It is never played on the radio. Trust me, I've heard it once since Nick's passed. And the fact that I asked for it, and that as we left the concert, a DJ doubled up on Led Zeppelin, which, let me tell you again, DJs don't ever double up on an artist. And that happened. I was like, all right, you're with me. You're with us.
That's incredible.
And I always find it so interesting what people feel inclined to do, like our inclinations, why we do this versus that, because it's often intuition. And I wonder if that radio DJ who was like playing the things, if something didn't just kind of pop in his head and go,
he felt something.
Play that song.
I know.
You know? Because we wouldn't even know. It'd be random. Why do we feel inclined to do the random things that we do? We never know the impact it could have. It's powerful.
I never thought of it that way, Tyler. That's but really cool. Must have, right?
He was like, hey, she's listening.
Play it now.
No, that's incredible. So how would you say your perspective on love has evolved through everything that you've been through?
Oh my gosh, so much. I always say death teaches us how to live. And it certainly has taught me how to live, and it's taught me how to love. There's so many things. Like, I can't wait to love again, because I really hope that I can instill all the things that I've learned about love and relationships in this next chapter in my life.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
What has your dating been like?
It's been
What?
It's been
yeah.
No, it has not been fun.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
it's been up and down. Listen, we live in Los Angeles. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
I tried the apps. They weren't for me. I've met a lot of wonderful people. I've met some not so wonderful people. I've had some wonderful times. I've had some not wonderful times.
Yeah.
I think if I'm being like 100% honest, I'm just at a point in my life where I'm looking for something really special, and I unfortunately have a lot of walls built up, and it's it's kind of a game now of like feeling that safety with somebody and trusting somebody. It's hard,
Yeah.
and so it's tough. It's tough.
Yes.
I'm out there.
She's
I'm
trying.
That's
She's
right.
trying. That's step number one.
Yes.
Is to try.
Yes. Yeah. And every relationship I've had and every even date I've gone on has taught me something more about myself and this chapter I'm in. So that always I take as the positive.
You have accomplished so much in your career and in your
you.
life.
Thank you.
Broadway performer.
Yes. Thank
Fitness
you.
entrepreneur.
Thank you. Okay.
Rock-
TV host.
Yes.
Rockette.
Yes.
Get
That's
into
right.
it.
Thank you.
Author and mom.
Thank you.
If you were to do a reality show, what would the title be?
Oof. Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
There you go. But it would be about all women.
Yeah.
I feel like right now,
we could use some empowerment.
yeah, I do. I think, listen, I love doing all these different things that I love to do. I love moderating a television show. I love hosting a red carpet. I love teaching a fitness class to 60 women and dancing our little butts out.
Yeah.
I love going to take a dance class myself. I love being a mom. I love being an entrepreneur. I love acting and producing and being in television shows and in movies. I love it all. And yet I feel like as a woman, especially right now, I feel like a little bit we can be pigeonholed. A lot of men will ask me, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to do it all. Why can't I do it all?
Right.
Because I love it all.
Right.
I'm very passionate about everything that I do.
Love that.
And I don't feel like it's fair to pigeonhole a woman as to like, well, no, you're a TV host, right? Yeah, I can host a TV show.
And yeah.
And I think we all can. So the reality show would be Wonder Woman.
I love
I
that.
love
I think Foots with Kloots is good. We'll take shoe wear.
You've been thinking
Skechers
about
endorsement.
that.
I like that.
Absolutely. We'll do a crossover. It'll give you wings, like
like
elevation. Yeah. We're still working on the branding.
I feel like you couldn't wait to answer
Thank
that
you.
question.
Yes, I was like, Foots
You've
with
had
Kloots.
that in the back of your head for a little
Cleats
bit.
with Kloots. I was like trying to go through all the variations.
Well, when I teach my fitness class, I'm like, glutes with Kloots.
Okay, that settles it. We're selling this.
Yeah, there we go.
You and me.
That's so funny. Amanda, you and I actually have something in common.
Oh, what?
I'm a dancer as well.
I love it.
Grew up dancing my whole life.
Aw, yay.
Dance and cheer. So I cheer professionally for the NFL
Yes.
and the NBA.
Good for you. Oh my
Thank
God,
you very much.
congratulations.
I probably couldn't do a high kick right now if I was being paid to. But what was it like being on Dancing with the Stars, and what was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
Oh, Dancing with the Stars was a dream come true. I sat in my living room and watched that with my family season after season, never thinking I would get that chance. Never thinking.
That's incredible.
So when that call came in, I was just like, I thought I won the lottery. And I really did. That show, that family there, it's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. My biggest takeaway, ironically, is not the dancing part. It was how much I connected with my partner, Alan Burstein, and how much he taught me how to love and be around another man again. It was wild. And not romantically. Alan and I were just friends and always have been. But I had lost Nick. We were 2 years into losing that. I had started trying to date, but with other widowers. And you can imagine how that date goes. You just end up talking about your dead person and crying. So there's really no romance. Good connection, but no romance. And I was really at a point where even on dates, I was like, if he would try to touch me, if he would try to kiss me right now, I don't know what, I'd freak out.
Yeah.
So, I was sitting kind of like this on dates and protecting myself. Well, then in walks Alan, and in walks dance again into my life. And dance, I was never afraid of connecting with somebody through dance.
Yeah.
Being touched by a man in
Right,
dance
is normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
So day one, when he was like, I'm going to hold your hand, I'm going to hold you here, I'm going to grab you here, I'm going to dip, it felt completely comfortable.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you're working towards a goal with somebody and you're texting with somebody every day. For all intents and purposes, he was like my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I had a man again in my life.
Yeah.
And when the season ended, I remember looking at him and being like, thank you so much. Touching you, but I'm like, I'm just like, thank you so much. I think you've like taught me that I can be around a man again.
That's
and like,
beautiful.
and I really honestly feel like ready to try again because I feel so comfortable being around a man again and laughing with a man again and being excited to, see a guy again. And he really gave me that gift. And it was such a special gift beyond dancing. And I never, ever thought that show would do that for me.
No,
I just thought
incredible.
it would be like how great to dance again in my life.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Tyler, would you ever do Dancing with the Stars?
I can't put a foot in front of the other foot. If they asked me to do a sobriety test, I would fail. I was watching Cops the other day. They're like, now do the alphabet backwards. I was like, Z, Y, W.
Yeah, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I'm going to jail. Oh my!
I'm sober, I promise.
Get it ready.
I can barely do it the right
throw
way.
out a rug.
Oh my God.
Give me a little puppy pad. I'm ready to put me in the pin.
That's going to be my goal now to get you on that show.
No.
Do you want to know the cutest answer to say the alphabet backwards? My son did this. I asked him this question and he goes, A, B, C.
Oh my God.
That's
And I
5D
was like,
brain.
That's genius.
I was like, you're a genius.
Yeah.
You're 4 years old and you're a
You
genius.
should play chess. Play chess. That's
Okay, well, if you don't use your powers to get him on,
Yeah.
have your people call my people.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay.
I can do a little
Yes, girl.
salsa.
that'd be much more
Girlfriend,
entertaining to watch.
Something cute.
Done
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
done.
have them
Yeah.
call my people.
You guys could both be on the next season.
That would be lit.
I'll just have an epileptic seizure. Truly, there's a lot coming
would
through.
love it.
It'd be a mess. Can you imagine all the audience? They start reading people, just like, Grandma's party, Grandma's party, Grandma's party, Grandma's party, Grandma's party. Just like, no, it'd be awful and distracting and weird performance art.
Yeah, can we cut?
No. Yeah. Want.
That's actually hilarious.
All right. You can be on the show. We'll get you on the show.
Thank you. So,
Shout it
Amanda,
out.
what's next for you? Can you
I started a new company in January, and I launched that. It's a supplement powder company. It's called
Fun.
Proper.
Okay.
So that's my newest baby, and what I'm kind of like cultivating at the moment, and putting out into the world.
Fun.
Yeah, it's just you talked about self-love, self-care. I love creating products that are easy, affordable, and accessible to everyone, so
Love
that they
that.
can feel good about themselves. We get one body. That's it. One. I know we think that there's more, but there's not. You got to treat it right. So I created this line to help people feel better about what they're putting into their bodies every day.
Is that available now?
It is available now, properhealth.com. And lots of fun, exciting things coming in the future. So stay tuned.
I can't wait.
My arteries are just fried with French fry grease. So as we take Proper, it's slowly, gradually, like heparin,
I said to
busting
Tyler,
it out.
you have no excuses. You should be having your greens every day.
Absolutely. Every day with Amanda Kloots. You get it, just drink it. It's easy. You don't even know they're
And
vegetables.
then you can do glutes with glutes. and
Glutes
then-
with glutes. We've got branding deals ahead of us. I see that in your future.
You're working. You're working. I love it. So let's talk like skepticism and reality TV a little bit.
Yeah.
So as we know, being on reality TV or being just a public figure can come with a lot of backlash or negativity from the public, which we've all probably experienced. What's your response to people who doubt your abilities or criticize you? And how do you handle both all the negativity and stuff?
I've embraced skepticism. I think it's important to be a reasonable human being,
Yeah.
to not lose our critical thinking skills. I think that what I do in many ways is very polarizing in the sense that people have an idea of what a medium is. And what I do is very different from a lot of what people even think it is that I
Yeah.
do. I just sit with people. I share moments where I have things pop in my head and I relay it and people cry. And they acknowledge
Yeah.
that whatever popped in my head made sense to their life.
Yeah.
And they were left better. It's hard to be skeptical around that, you know,
Right,
fundamentally,
right.
if you're just having a conversation, you say things that happen to be meaningful and then they're true. But Yeah, by and large, I embrace all different forms of belief. I think there's a beauty in that diversity.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just there to kind of give an experience to a person with the goal of helping them.
Yeah. My biggest thing is, and in fact, Gabby Bernstein, I don't know if you know who that is. She's a New York Times bestselling author. She says this too: forgive and delete. I forgive them. I sometimes write to them and say, God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day. These people are hurting. They're sad. And if they have the time and energy to get on social media and write negative things towards you, there's something wrong in their lives. And so I forgive and then I delete them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You get to a point in your self-awareness where you kind of quit caring. If you know yourself, and anything anyone says about you, you know when you put your head on the pillow whether it's true or not. And if you know that you're in the right, then, oh well.
Right.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah.
Right.
It's all good.
So, Tyler, I have to ask.
Yes.
What's one reality show that you'd secretly love to be on? Because if we're being real, a psychic on Love is Blind would have been so
Oh,
clutch.
wouldn't have?
So clutch.
Oh my gosh, The Traitors would be a really interesting show to go on. They're getting some leverage now. I think in their second season, it's kind of based off of who's doing what, who's up to what.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone would expect a medium to just say who the winner's going to be.
Yeah.
That's very boring. So.
Yeah.
No.
What about like Big Brother?
Big Brother would be interesting. I think I got an offer there once.
Oh,
but
did you?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Celebrity Big Brother.
You pulled the curtain back too much to see how the sausage is made. They see like my chest hair and my 7 chins. They're like, this guy's not mystical.
can't hide.
Yeah, no. He's a large time medium. Yeah.
Amanda, same question for you. What reality show you would probably be on?
Well, I got to be on mine. That was Dancing with the Stars.
That's your dream one. Yeah.
That would sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes I think it'd be fun to do Amazing Race with
that would be lit.
with my sister.
Yeah.
Just because I do love to travel and
Yeah.
I do love to see really cool, beautiful parts of this world. And I think that's such a special gift when you get to do something like that and it's paid for and everything. I just wouldn't want to eat, pig's testicles or something like that.
Yeah, that's where it gets weird. No, that's where
Or cow's eyes.
Eating French fries. Let's be real here. You know me.
Or bugs. Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
I want to do the cute stuff and the travel stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything too hard.
Exactly.
No, exactly.
Oh my gosh. I think Love is Blind was my dream show as well.
Wow.
Because I just wanted to get married. I wanted to find my person.
Aww.
I didn't find him on there. God
Okay.
knows.
That's all right.
God knows. But yeah, I think that was a
That's
dream
such a
come true for
gift,
me.
right?
Yeah,
Yay.
for sure.
So
for
cool.
sure.
What a beautiful memory, too.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
you guys, this has been amazing.
Oh, thank you.
But I did want to end with this, Tyler.
Yeah.
If you could give one universal message from the other side about love, life, or happiness, what would it be?
I could give one message from the other side. I would say that they encourage us to live our lives in such a way, regardless of what we believe or disbelieve, so as to prevent future regret. If we can say it now to the people we love, if we can validate and hype up the people who are still here and give them their flowers,
I love that.
then we can truly prevent future regret. Death by default, we always have regrets. I think in almost all cases, it's normal for the grief process to be like, I should have called more, I should have done more. But if you can kind of do what you can now, it just saves a lot of pain in the future.
I love that. Yeah,
So say
I
it now.
love that. Say it now.
Yes.
Oh, okay, and Amanda, if you could give one piece of life advice, whether it's about love, resilience, or just embracing the moment, what would it be?
Ironically, our mottos are so
Oh, I
the
love
same.
it. Twins.
I know. I
Just
mean,
through and through.
That's right.
I mean, mine is my late husband's song, "Live Your Life."
Yeah.
It changed. Losing him, and raising my son on my own. I truly embody that. Like I try to, at least. I fail sometimes. And people remind me, "Aren't you supposed to live your life?" And I'm like, "That's right. All right, never mind. I'm going on the vacation or whatever."
Yeah.
But it has live your life in all of those ways. Do the things. Take the trips. Say what you need to say. Be courageous. Go for your dreams. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. You don't know what the next 10 minutes will bring, and all of the good and all of the bad, whatever it could be. Live your life.
That is so powerful. You guys are so powerful. Like, that's such good advice, because you know these things, but you need the reminder, you know? Like,
It's true.
You know that you should say the things you need to say and live the life you want to live, but you forget when you have to go to like Trader Joe's or something.
That's
like
right.
just your day-to-day.
True. I said it to myself yesterday. So, I mean, I'm preaching it, but literally yesterday I was sitting somewhere and I was like, Amanda, what do you always say? You say, live your life, get up out of this chair and go. It was taking the courage to do something. And I was like, just do it. And I was like, and I just did it because it's like, live your life.
Live your life.
And have the courage to show up.
Yeah.
You know? That's so true in love, in connections with our loved ones who've passed.
Yeah.
It's easy to just hermetically seal ourselves in a room, and whether it's the grief process or pursuing love, it can be overwhelming and make us not want to leave. But if we can put ourselves out there, if we can have the courage to do different things, we get sometimes new results.
Yeah.
And it can lead to an extraordinary life we would have never seen possible. So,
Yeah, so true.
yeah.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
You guys
Thank
are
you so much
amazing.
Thank
today.
you.
This is so cool.
Oh, thank you guys for joining me. This has been wonderful. I feel revived.
Oh, good.
I really do. Like, I really do. I feel like, you know, I am going to go live my life.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
grab the
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
defibrillator.
We're gonna get you on Dancing with the Stars,
That's
girl.
right. She means business.
Say that part a little bit louder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but thank you guys once again for coming on to What's the Reality.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, thank you guys for tuning in to another beautiful, lovely episode, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
What's the reality? What's the reality?